Welcome! In this video, we will take a look at the subtraction strategy called place value and negative numbers. In order for students to be successful with this strategy, first, students will need to understand how to break a number into expanded form. It may also be helpful for students to have some experiences with thinking of a negative amount as you still being owed something. This strategy will be introduced in second grade and used throughout third through fifth grades. This strategy directly relates to computational fluency standards, asking students to use their knowledge of numbers and number relationships to subtract fluently. Once students have had practice with breaking numbers into expanded form, students can start using this strategy. As students start to use this strategy, each number is broken up into its expanded form. Then, the like place values are grouped together and subtracted. In problems where the numbers will need to be regrouped, negative values will result. So you can either introduce negative numbers as the idea of still being owed, or you can have them regroup in this strategy as well. Based on my experience, the higher level students will grasp the concept of negative numbers. The on-level students will tend to use regrouping within this strategy, and students who tend to struggle in math may not be ready to use this strategy. The place value and negative numbers strategy is supposed to be a mental math strategy. However, when initially introducing this strategy, it will be helpful for students to have access to dry erase boards. Now we'll model this strategy to students. Boys and girls, you've already learned how to break numbers into expanded form. So today, we're going to use this knowledge to help us subtract two numbers in our heads. Let's try this strategy with this equation. We are going to be subtracting 999 and 345. So first, we need to break 999 into its expanded form, which is going to be 900 plus 90 plus 9. And we'll need to do the same thing for our 345, which will be 300 plus 40 plus 5. The next thing that we are going to do is we are going to bring our like place values together. So we're going to bring our 900 and our 300 together. And then we're going to bring our tens together. And finally, we're going to bring our ones together. So now all we have to do is subtract our like place values. So 900 minus 300 is going to get us our 600. 90 minus 40 is going to give us our 50. And 9 minus 5 is going to give us our 4. Now we just add all of our differences together and we'll get 654 for our difference. So what will happen if we need to regroup? Well, you can tackle this problem two different ways. Let's look at this problem. 123 minus 59. We're going to start it the same way with breaking our two numbers into expanded form. So 123 is going to be 100 plus 20 plus 3. And our 59 is going to be 50 plus 9. Now we're going to bring like place values together. We don't have any hundreds in 59, so we're just going to do 100 minus 0. Then we have 20 minus 50. And last we have 3 minus 9. So when we do our subtraction, we are going to have 100 minus 0, which will give us 100. We're going to add that to our negative 30, which is 20 minus 5, because that we still are owed 30. And then we have our 3 minus 9, which will give us our negative 6, because we're still being owed 6. So when we add these together, we have 100 plus negative 30, which will give us our 70. And then we still have that negative 6 that we're owed, so we're going to take that away from our 70, and that's going to get us our 64 as our difference. If your kids aren't feeling comfortable with the negative number concept, you can always have them go through and regroup instead. So it's going to start the same way. We're going to break both of these numbers into their expanded forms. So we have 100 plus 20 plus 3. And we have 50 plus 9. We're going to bring together the like place values. So we have 100 minus 0. And we have 20 minus 50. And we'll have our 3 minus our 9. So the next thing that we're going to do is we're going to go ahead and regroup so that we don't have to deal with those negative numbers. So I'm going to take a 10 from my tens place and break it into my 10 ones. That's going to give me 13 minus 9. And we'll just bring everything else down. And now we're going to deal with our tens place. So I'm going to take that 100. That's going to leave me with 0 hundreds. I'm going to break it into my 10 tens, so it's going to give me 110 minus 50. And then I'm going to bring down my 13 minus 9. Now all I have to do is go ahead and subtract. So I'm going to do 0 minus 0. That's going to give me 0. Then I'm going to do 110 minus 50. That's going to give me 60. And then 13 minus 9 is going to give me 4. And when we add all of those differences together, that's going to give me 64 as my final difference. Because negative numbers are referenced in this strategy, it is not included in the Cumberland County Number Talks resource. However, this is a great strategy for building fluency with subtraction. When introducing this strategy, it is best to start with very simple examples so that students can easily see the number relationships. Once the numbers get trickier, provide ample practice making the problems easier. The focus doesn't need to be on the answer, but rather the effective use of the strategy. Eventually, this should become a mental math strategy, and dry erase boards should be removed.